If this is your first time here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Or if you're like me and you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Chaotic Curl, and in today's video, we're actually going to be crocheting a cute little ruffle top is what I have in mind. I'm going to incorporate some granny squares just because I'm obsessed. So we're going to incorporate the first round of granny square, but I'm actually more excited about the type of yarn that I'm going to be using for today's video. I got the Premier Just Worsted yarn, and I actually got this from the DollarTree. So it was $1.25 for each ball, but I got it in the colors turquoise, white, and black. Now my thought process is that the majority of the top, or at least the top part, is going to be in black, and the granny squares I'm actually going to include will be in turquoise and white for the top portion of the shirt we're making. And then I also want to include a ruffle on the bottom, like a striped ruffle, so I'd be using all three colors for that ruffle. So what we're gonna get started on now is just making the first round of the granny square, and then we're gonna make that first round of granny square. Then I'm going to slip stitch them all together, and then I'll start working on the main portion of the top. But in order to do that, let me see if I can find it. We're going to be using our 5.5mm hook, since that is what this yarn calls for. And as you can see, this is a 4 medium weight worsted yarn, and it calls for a 5.5mm hook. So that's what we're going to be using today. And yeah, I guess that's it. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm using the turquoise yarn just to show you guys how I do that first round of granny square. And like always, I just start off with my magic loop. So I make sure to have the working yarn to the back or the palm of my hand, wrap everything around my 3 fingers, the index, middle, and ring finger, back to the front. As you can see, I have it looped across where the working yarn is over the waist yarn. So now we just put my hook underneath and pull that working yarn over, and then we're going to make that first loop. Okay, now I can just take my fingers right out, and I have my magic circle. So into this circle we're going to start working our stacked single crochet, which I use to represent a double crochet. So here we go. I'm going to start off with that single crochet. Sorry, it's a little hectic. Hold on. Okay, like I said, we're going to start with that single crochet. So we're just going to single crochet 1, and then into this back loop of the single crochet, we're going to make another single crochet right on top of it. So we just go into that back loop, pull up our yarn over to make that second single crochet, and now we have our first double crochet. Now if you remember, the granny square is worked in clusters of 3 double crochet, so we just have 2 more double crochet and then a chain 2 to follow. That's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and now we chain 2. Again, we do another cluster of 3 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, another cluster of 3. We're going to actually do 4 clusters of 3 double crochet with 2 chain 2s between each one. And this is going to be our last cluster of 3 after this chain 2. If I can get the chain 2. Okay, this is going to be our last cluster of 3. Mm-hmm. 2, 3. Sorry about that. And then chain 2. And I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm outside, so the lighting situation is very natural. And it's a cloudy day today. Here we go. We're just gonna pull that string, tighten up the circle, and then we just slip our stitch right into the top of that first single crochet in our stacked single crochets. Slip it right through here. And now from here, I would just cut it off, and this is actually the round that we're going to be using for our top. So I made 10 of these in turquoise and in white. Okay, here we are. I finished all my little granny square starts. So this is the pattern I'm gonna do it in. So now I'm just gonna start slip stitching everything together. Hi, I'm back. I just wanted to show you guys what the first round of granny squares in the turquoise and white look like now that I have them all sewn together. I was gonna slip stitch it, but I decided against it. I just didn't like the way it looked, and that's what the back looks like, so we're not gonna look at that. This is what it looks like. So from here, I'm going to attach the black yarn, and I'm basically just gonna build it up to fill in the spaces. And then of course I'll make a back panel. Well, I'm gonna make 2 separate panels for the back because it's gonna be a tie back. I'm obsessed. And I'm deciding on what I want to do as far as sleeves. I don't want to leave this top sleeveless, so I am thinking of maybe adding some ruffled stripes on the side, or maybe I'll just do the ruffles in black, but we'll see. I'll come back and let you guys. Okay, so as you can see, I did get started on that first row. I just attached my slip stitch here and have half double crocheted each stitch at the top of each little granny square until I got to here. Here, I just slipped the stitch, so I slipped into 2 stitches, the one to anchor the row I was working on, and then the second one for the, I guess it would be the chain 1 at the beginning of that second row. So I'm just going to keep going across and attaching my stitches that way until I make it to the top. And then once I make it here to this top where the top is flush, I'll cut it and then I'll do the other side to reach the top again. And so I'll come back when I'm at the top to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here is the finished front panel. Now we just have to work on the back and side panels, which for that I'm actually going to be doing a granny rectangle, I guess it would be. It's the granny stripe, but instead of doing it like a square like how I did these, it would be in a rectangle, which I will definitely show you guys how I'm doing that. And of course I'm going to make sure to link it down below where I learned to do it as well, just in case you guys want to follow her pattern instead. But this is what the top is looking like, and this is of course the front and this would be the back of the panel. So you can see all my mistakes, all my little exposed stitches, the slip stitches that I did across the top right there just to join it. And when I'm attaching the sides, I will make sure to include a slip stitch along, or yeah, a slip stitch border along the bottom here just to finish this off in black. And then of course we would add the bottom portion of the top. But of course this is what the top this is what the top part of the top is looking like so far. Well, it's done, so this is it. We're just gonna add the straps and the sides. Hi, so I'm back. Now, as you saw, we were able to finish the front panel, so what we're doing now is working on the side panel and back. So this is actually what I'm going to be using for that portion. It's like a granny square, but a rectangle, clearly. But it's going to go wrapped from the side all the way to the back, and I'll be able to use these little openings as holes for the string so I can have a little tie back. Sorry about that. But I do still plan on having like a really loose hanging ruffle, I guess you could say, for the bottom, as well as the ruffles on the sleeve. We're definitely going to give those a try, and I'm going to decide whether I like them or not. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure about ruffle sleeves, but we're definitely going to be doing a ruffle on the bottom. So that's what's going to be happening now, and I'm definitely going to show you guys how to do the rectangle. But if you want to follow the instructions from where I learned it, I made sure to link it down below in the description as well. So let's do that now. Okay, and to begin that granny square rectangle, we're actually going to start off for my project by chaining 9 chains, and then of course back into that 9th chain is where I would do my stacked single crochet, which in this case would act as a double crochet. So that would be the first double crochet, and we're going to do it like in a regular granny square with clusters of 3. So I'm just going to add 2 more double crochet into that same stitch, and then go into the stitch right next to it and do another cluster of 3 after I chain 3 from that first cluster. So here I go, putting that second cluster of 3 right into the chain space right next to my first cluster of 3. And of course that is how we're going to be working the corner. So this is going to be our first corner completed. And then after this one, I would just chain 1. I'm going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and into that third chain, I'm going to do another cluster of 3 and then chain 1 as well. And of course, I'm just going to continue down the chain, skipping 2 chains, and in that third one, doing a cluster of 3, then chaining 1, skipping 2 chains, which in this case, I don't think I have any more chains after this one. Exactly, so this will be my last one. And right into that last chain that we see, I'm going to do my cluster of 3 to do that second square, or that second corner, I mean. And then that would be our second corner in this project. After this cluster of 3, we're going to go ahead and chain 3. And then just like how we did in the other ones, we're going to go back into those same chains that we worked the cluster of 3s in from the other side. And we're just going to keep going on this side right into that same space. And to finish off, we just do our last cluster of 3, then we chain 3, we attach it back into that first stacked single crochet that we did to begin with. Just a simple slip stitch right there. Turn our project, we want the working yarn in the back because it makes it easier to do the stacked single crochet. And then I just go right into that space, do a stacked single crochet, a cluster of 3 double crochets, so 2 more double crochets, chain 3, and then another cluster of 3 double crochets into that same space, then chain 1, and we work our clusters into each chain 1 space along the side, and of course for each corner it would be 2 clusters of 3 with a chain 3 in the middle. Okay, and this is actually my second row. So from here, I'm gonna do 2 more rows just like this with a cluster of 3 in each chain space, and doing of course 2 clusters and 3 chains between the 2 clusters of 3 for each corner. And I'm just gonna work it out up to 4 rows. Hi, so I'm back. I just finished slip stitching the side and back panels to the front, and I also added a row of single crochet to the bottom of everything just so that I could add the ruffle for the bottom part, but this is what it's looking like now. Please excuse the towels, but this is what it looks like. Let me show you just another angle. Okay, that's what the front should look like. And then there is our back, which everything worked out great. So now, like I said, well, I have to add straps, of course, but like I said, I made sure to add that row of single crochet at the bottom so that way I could do the ruffles. So what I'm gonna do now is actually start working on the ruffle before I get to the straps, just in case. So I'm going to start working on the ruffle. So I'm gonna start in black, my first row of ruffles. So in each single crochet that I have at the bottom here, I'm gonna do 2 double crochet just so that it's a big, nice, full ruffle all the way around. But that's what I'm gonna be doing now. And then once that's done, which, like I said, I'm gonna stripe the ruffle, so I'm gonna start with black, and then and then I'll see how the colors go, but you'll see how they go as well. I'm gonna do the ruffle, and then once the ruffle is completed, then we'll add the straps, and we'll see if we have enough yarn left over for those sleeves. But that's it. Hi, I'm back and I have something to announce, of course, as expected. The top is done. So I was not able to finish everything completely. I did end up running into a little bit of a game of yarn chicken at the end there with the turquoise color, but it kind of worked out. You could say I lost because I couldn't finish the stripe, but at the same time, I did have just enough white yarn to finish off that stripe of turquoise, as well as add a little stripe of white onto the top of the shirt. So I'm just gonna give you guys a better angle on what this shirt, well, I'm gonna show you guys actually what the shirt is looking like, just so you can see the finished product. But I'm sure you can also tell I didn't have the chance to add in straps. So I will definitely explain that as well, but let's get that better angle first. Okay, so here is the finished top. Just to show you, this is what I was talking about, that yarn chicken. I ran out of the turquoise, but I was able to finish it with the white. So this is what the top is actually looking like. Let me just show you the back. Super cute. And I can honestly say, I think I made my favorite top for this summer. But just a little bit of more details. I was able to finish it off with this ribbon here, just some black ribbon that I was able to get at the DollarTree. So everything in this top is from the DollarTree, thankfully. But I was able to finish it off with this ribbon. I just made sure to tie it up in the back to the back of those rectangle grinding squares. And then I just looped it into the spaces to make that corset so that I could close the top in the back. But this is what it's looking like, and I absolutely love it. I love the colors. The yarn was super soft, and it feels super soft on my skin still, and it is also super plush. I mean, I love this top. I'm definitely going to be wearing it again, and I'm definitely going to be making it in another color. But thanks so much for joining me in today's video. Again, I'll probably be using more yarn from the DollarTree to make another top like this one. So keep an eye out for that. You'll see pictures of that on my Instagram at chaoticpearl_crafts. I'll also make sure to add pictures of this top since it's the one that's actually done, so you guys can see it just a little bit better and just a little bit more detail on its own. But I'm super happy I was able to make the top today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. We're already at 300 subscribers. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for following along on my crochet journey, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!